My name's Dave Northam. What I'm about to share with you is what I call the experience. The image I'm about to share with you is so powerful that it will stand on its own. I really don't want to color your experience of it, but I will tell you that the experience is so powerful that you really will want to honor it and not put words to it. You will try to share the experience and validate it through another person. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to experience the truth of life, and ultimately that truth will set you free. I think, I guess. One day first of all, my name's David Northam. I am Dave the Carpenter from Ajax. I am a carpenter. I did it for about 10 years, built over 200 homes. I worked for about 15 years for my father's company, who passed away in 2007, and been recovering from childhood sexual abuse since October 14th, 2008, and really feel on the other side of it, but still really, really suffer the long-term effects. But I have a lot of freedom from them, and I have a lot of hope. But I have a lot of hope for you too, so I'll get back to my story. I was watching National Geographic one day, and it was a show about the migration of the monarch butterfly. And there was a group of individuals that lived in Mexico that were protecting the rainforest, in which the monarch butterflies nest and procreate and create other butterflies. And it's a protected part of the forest. There are some very, very rich people in the area, and they pay people to go and illegally cut down the trees and where these monarch butterflies, a threatened species, nest and make their homes. And the gentleman on the television was about my age, and he said that at one night he was him and his father had spent his entire life protecting this particular part of the rainforest, that they were out looking there for tree loggers or tree poachers, people that would go into the forest in the middle of the night and cut down trees and remove them. And they came across the logger, and the logger was there, and he was killing monarch butterflies. And what happened is something happened to me. I think it just happened to you. And I found that experience alone, I put in my own words, I come down to the simplest part of it is that I'm kind. And I think a great many human beings are kind, and that we've really, really forgotten that. The other part of what happened to me, I mean, really the human language is so limited in words. And that what happened, I can't describe. But I know that the attempt to try to put words to it is what man's been doing for thousands of years. And somehow each man's interpretation of it has been more important than the individual's interpretation of it. I'm a father of 3 children. When I look at my father at the end of his life, he protected me, and I never had want of need. He was a vicious man, certainly cruel to personalities around him, somewhat reflective of the way life is. But he did provide for his family, and really protected his family, because I never had any want of financial stress or not. And that's a real man. He might have been lacking in other areas because of that, but certainly he was a man. And I can't help but think that my own problems could have all been eliminated if there was a society that would have validated that what I say was important. So I've come to the conclusion that the most important thing for any society to do is to validate the experience of a child. A child needs to be protected until it can validate and protect its experience validate and express its experience to those around them, especially to their own peer group. I find that it is always about the people that you travel through life that you need to learn to communicate with. I have a lot of belief that that's the right thing to do, and I had an experience last week where I overheard a young woman describing taking her daughter to the doctor's office, and the daughter had gotten a couple of stitches in the face, and I'd had a similar experience, and holding the child down to get the stitches, and then holding the child to remove the stitches is a parental trauma, and the child, after getting down off the nurse's stool and the doctor's stool, stormed down and got up and turned around and looked at the people and said, "My mommy told me to be nice to people, and you weren't nice. You said you weren't going to hurt me, and you did." And the child was supposed to be about 4 or 5 years old, and certainly I think that a child having the self-esteem to express its experience to the adults around it, and to validate its anger and hurt, and that it was all okay. They all told the story quite laughingly, but for me, it gave me a lot of hope for humanity. It is what we need to have. Children need to be protected, and we're doing a very shitty job of it. Those of us that do suffer from the violence of crime, I can say this from my own perspective, that as a victim, I don't really care about punishment. I just don't want it to happen again. I don't want it to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to anybody else. And if that means you get locked away and we never see you again, we don't care. We just don't want you to hurt us anymore. And unfortunately, the powers that be have instilled in a lot of fear in all of us. And it's only through all of us being really, really comfortable of not being violent with one another that we're ever going to break this horrible, horrible matrix of fear that exists in the world today. We've lived by the gun, and sometimes the people only have a stick, or sometimes it's only their fist, but bullies run the show. And really, in my life, I don't have any need to have bullies in my life, and really, I don't think they should be on the planet. I think that bullies are the ones that pollute. They're inconsiderate for other people, and it's about time that we decided that they didn't belong here anymore. And whether that means that people change and become healthier people, but you know the cruel when you see them. And my own level of cruelty has been a trip to get rid of. And I'm not saying I know anything about it, but I know that approaching 50 years old, I got a little ways to go, and I'm quite happy to travel it. So again, this is Dave the Carpenter from Ajax signing off. Bye.